Today we are going from Granville to Superstore on Marine Drive. I'm using the Galaxy Z Fold 6 to record this footage. And right now is 6 degrees.
So I am speaking about it being inexperienced in this area. Right. So we're both probably going to say things that we need.
Right. Are you, I'm curious, are you worried about going through this? Like, is it something you see, you know people who do, you have a friend who's an expert in the area, that's going to be our guest today. So you have those people around you. Is it something that's and hormonal conditions that change the physical structure of the body, and what we're dealing with is physios. And having and being surrounded by this is interesting because both Anita and I, neither of us actually treat patients in pelvic health world. We would neither of us have pelvic health expertise per se. We understand it, but we're not those people treating it. That being said, as we've been surrounded by those experts, I got to tell you, my ability to treat better and to provide a more holistic experience for those patients has gone through the roof. Kind of from, you know what, I know that there's an issue, and I know there's people out there who do it. You should go see them, to identifying the problems as a patient's presenting them to us, and them saying things like, for instance, and even addressing incontinence. Oh, you've got that. There can be other things that are going on. Let's deal with it right away, rather than I'm going to refer you to somebody else. Just knowing, having that ability to know what's going on. And we have had a lot of, and we will keep having shows on pelvic health issues like incontinence, because the more awareness we bring to it, that's going to take me to the next thing. And the next thing is, this show is called Life Shouldn't Hurt. We know that it does. We also know, though, that we're going to be talking about health topics, and so I want to address something right up front. A knee, a shoulder, an ankle, a vagina, a penis, they are all anatomical parts. We're going to talk about them today. We are going to talk about certain parts of the body that, if others find it uncomfortable, just remember, it is a part of your body, and if we can't talk about it, we can't provide you the knowledge and the experiences and get into those areas that we can make a difference in your lives. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And also, let's also not forget that men, yes, men, you should listen to, because There are very important people in your lives who are going to be going through this or are going through it or have gone through it. And knowing and that knowledge that you can have can make a difference in both of your lives. We'll be talking about menopause. We'll be joined by Lindy Torfoss right after the break. If you're interested in menopause, and you should be, don't forget, stay close to that dial. I'm Grant Fedora. I'm with Anita Cassidy. This is Life Shouldn't Hurt on the Chorus Radio Network.
Get massive deals on outdoor tech at the Black Friday Door Crasher sale. On now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Get $1,200 off the Garmin EchoMath Ultra 106SB with 10-inch touchscreen and high-def sonars. And save $150 on the SpyPoint Flex S Cellular Trail Camera 2-pack, featuring instant mode, so you can get on-demand photos and videos direct to your phone. Save on the best outdoor gear at the Black Friday Door Crasher sale. On now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. While quantities last, see store for details.
Get ready. Company is coming.
Better call Coit now to freshen up your home for the holiday season.
You'll save 35% off on Coit Clean Area rugs, blinds, and drapery.
That's right, 35% off. Includes pickup, delivery, takedown, and reinstallation.
Get ready for your guests to be wowed. All work must be completed by December 7th.
Call now, 1-800-4COIT. That's FORCOIT.
Or order online at coit.ca. Also serving Nanaimo.
Sea Lovers Fish and Chips is turning 40 this year. With their all-you-can-eat fish and chips plus bottomless pop for just $19.99 plus tax, they are truly the best fish and chips in town. Happy 40th, Sea Lovers. Sea-Lovers.com.
Hey, was someone supposed to turn off the Black Friday deals?
Oh, for sake, really? They're still on?
Yeah.
And that's deals on, like, a ridiculous amount of resorts, right?
Yeah.
And they're some of the lowest prices we've had all year.
Yeah.
Well, we're in it now. How should we spin this?
Sunwing's Black Friday deals are still on, so book before they're gone for good. How's that?
That'll do. Find great holiday savings at BC Liquor. Save $7.50 on Molson Canadian Lager 36-pack, now $57.29 until December 28th. Visit your nearest BC Liquor store. Products vary by store, only while quantities last. Enjoy responsibly.
Whether it's refinancing, buying, selling, estate, commercial, or investment properties, when you need a real estate appraiser and advisor, there's only one industry leader that's been trusted in the Lower Mainland and Fraser Valley since 1939, Campbell & Pound. We are the leaders of market intelligence with one of the most sophisticated market databases in BC. Choose the experts at Campbell & Pound, the Lower Mainland and Fraser Valley's trusted real estate appraisers and advisors for over 80 years. Visit campbell-pound.com.
When a car fire left Massimo with burns over 41% of his body, there was only one place for him to go, Vancouver General Hospital. Thanks to the world-class care he received from the VGH burn unit, Massimo is back to doing what he loves, fighting fires and serving his community.
Without VGH, I'd probably be dead.
Make a donation to VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation and help patients like Massimo get the best care when they need it most. Donate today at vghfoundation.ca/angel.
Elevate your cooking experience with high-precision kitchen appliances that are the perfect blend of luxury, performance, and purposeful design. 980 CKNW Global Views and Midland Appliance want to give you a chance to win $10,000 towards the purchase of signature kitchen suite appliances from Midland Appliance. Enter online at cknw.com/contest. Then come experience the Midland difference at their showrooms in Vancouver, Richmond, and Langley, or their newest location in Abbotsford.
Parkers Live presents Park Like a Boss. Want to be the boss? Start parking like one. Download the Park and Fly app and make quick work of airport parking. Big picture thinking is a trait of effective bosses. Bosses anticipate the next big move and implement strategies almost as fast as you can reserve your next airport parking stay. Bosses skip the counter. Bosses get emailed receipts. Be the boss. Park like one. Tap the app and reserve, scan, park, pay and go. It's the fastest way to park and fly.
Now back to Life Shouldn't Hurt with Grant Fedora.
Menopause. Today we're talking about a topic that affects millions of women across Canada and around the world. Joining us today is Lindy Torfoss, a local pharmacist who will be sharing her insights and experience with us, because mine are really just related to my wife telling me about it and me trying to be as understanding as possible. So if you're a guy out there, this show's still for you, because I think we need to know. I curious if you don't mind sharing with us, and this might be a long answer for you, but what would the physical kind of symptoms of menopause be for women that are going through it?
Yeah, so there's a whole variety of symptoms, and you've sort of named a few to start. So probably the most frequent symptoms that we'll hear women complain about as they're going through this menopause transition is what we call vasomotor symptoms. So what you said, so hot flashes, night sweats, things like that. So vasomotor symptoms, fancy word for hot flashes and night sweats. And night sweats are just hot flashes that happen at night. And definitely night sweats can affect sleep. So often that comes hand in hand where if you're waking up multiple times a night, feeling hot and uncomfortable, that is definitely going to affect your sleep. Although some women will also have issues with sleep, so issues falling asleep and staying asleep, even without hot flashes. So sleep is definitely affected as well. Other symptoms that are very common in the menopause transition are what we call genitourinary syndrome of menopause. That's a big mouthful, but that's really just another fancy word for all the symptoms and things that women might notice down there. So changes with the absolutely. All those symptoms that happen within the vaginal wall, vulva, and also the urinary tract, that whole pelvic floor area are also common symptoms that happen in that menopause transition. But we're learning more and more about other symptoms that might come along with this menopause transition. So a lot of women will complain of joint pains or muscle aches, right? Issues with mood that you alluded to earlier, so feeling a little bit more moody or irritable or teary even. So all of these things can be bundled up with the symptoms that go along with this transition in perimenopause and menopause.
No, we called it, and even my co-host Anita and I have talked about we called it pregnancy brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of period of time when I'll use Heidi as an example. She went from being able to remember exactly what John wore the first day of class in grade 6 and what row he sat in to not even knowing her phone was in the fridge. Why is it in the fridge? She had no clue. But I'm also starting now. Is it lost on me that that's happening again to some extent? Like some brain fog, is that a common thing that occurs as well?
Yes, absolutely. So, that feeling of not being able to remember things as well as you used to, that feeling of brain fog, word finding difficulties. So, you'll be in mid-sentence and you know what you want to say, but you just can't find the right word. So those are all sort of those cognitive symptoms that could come along with the menopause transition as well.
I'm trying to do my best to kind of, the whole show is about kind of getting information out there, helping people make good decisions, to learn a little bit, and yeah, men need to know about what's going on, because frankly, it's the same thing, as Heidi's been talking and is comfortable talking about it a little bit more, I'm less frustrated with those things like, I think she loses her keys on a daily basis, and those would be just funny as a husband-wife, but when you start to realize, no, this might not be something, well, you can laugh about it, but also just understanding why it's happening makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
So guys out there, just know if this is something that your spouse is going through, or your significant other, or somebody it might not be funny to them even. It might be something that they're taking very seriously, or that they're concerned about, or they don't know what is happening. And maybe, I'm not saying to tell them what to do, because I'm not going to tell my wife anything that she doesn't tell me what to do. Now, is there some long-term, we were talking with Lindsay Torres, a local pharmacist, and yeah, we're talking about menopause. It seems to be something that keeps on coming up to conversations. Now, is it just because, in our life that's what we're going through, or Heidi is going through, and others in my circle, or is that because people are more comfortable talking about it, do you think?
I think it's a little bit of both. Probably you're noticing it more because it's maybe in your world at the moment, but it's definitely out there. You can't really turn on social media nowadays without seeing something about menopause. So it's definitely having its moment out there in social media and in the public, and women are seeking out information now as well, and I think that's the big change, is that a lot of times in the past people would wait for information to come to them or have their primary care practitioner practitioner address issues.
Right.
But now we're becoming a lot more, eager to find the information ourselves and take a little bit of self-advocacy role.
And informed, because
Yeah.
I think, today, as much as social media is ridiculous in that it's